Matt and Margaret.
We're gonna start. We're ready to roll.
We're good. We're live right now.
Okay. Ms. Travis.
Yes, sir.
Start.
Yes, sir.
Good evening and welcome. This is the regular meeting of the Twinsburg Board of Education. Today is July 13th. The time is 7:01, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Mr. Aho, please call the roll.
Mrs. Crawford?
Here.
Mr. Curtis?
Here.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Felber-Zenson? And Mrs. Travis?
Here.
Okay, we're all here. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Face to my left. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I don't believe we have any addendums or changes to the agenda, so I'll move forward with my President's report. Good evening, community members, families, and employees of Twinsburg City Schools. I'm Mark Curtis, and I'm proud to be your board president. I'm hopeful that all of our families are enjoying the summer break, and I hope that all had a safe and enjoyable 4th of July holiday as well. Although it's summer, we do here continue to take care of our infrastructure and ensure that our buildings and grounds needs are addressed for purposes of welcoming our students and staff back in the fall. That's the only thing I'll talk about coming back in the fall. Nobody's thinking about that right now. However, tonight the Board of Education will be taking the first of two steps in placing a 6.9 mil renewal levy on the ballot for November. Over the last year, the Finance Committee has had multiple meetings to review our 5-year forecast and financial outlook, which includes our levy cycle. Additionally, we had a work session to review and discuss our findings as well as recommendations on how best to move forward. During our last regular board meeting, a presentation was done by K-12 consultants whom we contracted with to review our 5-year forecast for purposes of ensuring a smooth transition in the change in leadership of our Treasurer's Office. Consistent with those findings, we find it necessary to renew this levy to continue our operations and provide the high-quality education that the community has come to expect. We will continue our due diligence in being responsible in the use of our community's tax dollars. We do not take these decisions lightly, and we appreciate the commitment that the community has had and made in passing levies over the years in support of this district. Lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the 14th anniversary of the death of Twinsburg Police Officer Joshua T. McTarian. This community continues to mourn in remembrance of that tragic day, and his sacrifice will never be forgotten. Our prayers continue to be with him, with his family and his wife. This concludes my President's report, and I will now turn the meeting over to our Superintendent, Mrs. Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Good evening, Board of Education and family who are watching us via live stream. Tonight I want to thank Mr. Zach Colgrove, who is our live stream producer, and Mr. Colgrove, thanks for capturing our Board of Education meeting so that our residents have a chance to have a bird's eye view of the workings of the Board of Education here tonight. Board of Education, it's a busy time of the year, as Mr. Curtis just indicated. Probably the most important thing that we do over the summer is to register our new families for school. So for members of our community who are new to our Twinsburg Tiger family, I just want to let everyone know that information about new student registration can be found on our district website. Once you're there, click on the For Parents tab, scrolling down to access the registration information, and then once you're there, you'll be asked to create an account, and then you'll be asked to complete the pre-registration information. Information about new student registration and registration appointments can be found on the homepage of our district website. Registration appointments are currently being made for August 2nd, August 9th, and August 11th, and we look forward to welcoming all of our new Tigers to our Tiger family. Our building level administrators and administrative assistants report back to work during the week of July 25th, which means the beginning of the new school year really is just around the corner. New this year is our district's mobile app, and this evening our district support specialist and our webmaster, Mrs. Linda Gardner, has prepared a very short video that we'd like to share for the launch of our district mobile app. Aboard, as you might know, thanks to the work of our communications action team, which was part of the strategic planning effort, the idea of launching a district mobile app came from them. And one of the reasons why they were asking for it is, as we know, the Tiger family is on the go. It's not always that you're sitting in front of a laptop or other device. And so from our parents who sit on the communications action team, the request was made that the district would move forward with the mobile app. And so tonight we're excited to present to you for the very first time this video that was created by Mrs. Gardner that will walk you through what the mobile app will look like, and then we'll have some directions as to how you yourselves can download the mobile app and then connect to the district through this new way. So without further ado, Mr. Welker is going to call up our video board. If you want to proceed to the other side of the table so that you can take a look at the video, we'll get underway here shortly.
Twinsburg City School District is pleased to announce the launch of the Twinsburg City School District app by ESB2Go. The app will be available for iOS, Android, and Windows devices. The purpose of this video is to familiarize visitors on how to download and navigate the app. To download the app, either use the universal link shown here or visit the App Store on your device, search for Twinsburg City School District, and install the app. Allow notifications if prompted. These instructions will be sent to you via Blackboard Connect. From the Twinsburg City School District homepage, click News to view various district news items, calendar events, and tweets from the superintendent. Choose Directory to access Board of Education staff by department. Either search for the staff member by first or last name, or click on the department tile. Choose the person you wish to contact, click on their phone number or email address, or use the call or email icons shown on the contact card. From the directory, you can also contact the school buildings by clicking on the school buildings tile. Click on the school you wish to contact. Here you will see listed the mainline phone number along with the address of the school. To call the school's main line, either click on the phone number or use the call icon shown here. To return to the Twinsburg City School District homepage, click the tiger at the top of the screen next to Twinsburg City School District. Use quick links to link to frequently accessed information, including links to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. To change the language the app is displayed in, click on Language, shown here. To share our app via Facebook or Twitter, click the Share Our App tile. To receive district-level notifications, click My Alerts from the Twinsburg City School District homepage. Make sure to toggle on Enable Push Notifications. Then toggle on all newsfeed categories you want to receive notifications about. Click My Schools from the app menu to access your student's school. You will be directed to your student's school homepage on the app. Click on News to view school news, school calendar events, and tweets from the principal. To contact school staff members, choose Directory. You can either search for a staff member by first or last name or click on their contact card. You will see listed the staff member's phone number and email address. To call the staff member, click on the phone number or use the call icon shown here. To email the staff member, click on their email address or click on the email icon shown here. All phone calls to teachers will go to voicemail during school hours. To return to the Wilcox Primary School homepage, click the tiger next to Wilcox Primary School on the toolbar at the top. Click on Quick Links for frequently accessed school information, including the rotation calendar, food services, Clever, and parent access. My Assignments is a digital planner tool for your students. Students can add assignments, add classes, link the assignments to their respective classes, and set assignment reminders. This is an end-user feature only. Teachers cannot add assignments to a student's planner. My Alerts can be used to receive push notifications at the school level. To set up My Alerts for your child's school, click My Alerts. Make sure to enable push notifications, and then toggle on all newsfeed categories you want to receive notifications about. In the upper right-hand corner of the app, you will see 3 lines. Click on these lines to access the app menus. This includes the menu for My Schools. At the bottom of each school page, you will see 3 icons. The first icon is used to dial the school's main line. The second icon is used to access the Twinsburg City School District website. Anywhere on the app you see this icon, it will take you to the Twinsburg City School website. This icon is used to call the attendance line of the school. To return to the Twinsburg City School District homepage in the app, click on My Schools in the app menu and choose Twinsburg City School District. We hope this app will enable you to stay connected and informed about what is happening in our district.
Why should you use Miro? When you draw on a whiteboard, no one sees it. With Miro, you can plan together in real time from literally everywhere. It's not just a board.
No, I hear.
Not really interesting.
So board, tomorrow morning around 9, we'll push out the notification via Blackboard Connect to launch the mobile app. I do want to thank Linda Garner. She made this her project for the majority of this year and has worked with eSchoolView to make sure that it represents our school district in a very nice manner. I invite you to go to your app store on your phone or your device and download this. It's very easy to do. If I could do it, anybody can, and I did it today. Quite simple to do, and I think that our families are going to really enjoy this new feature. It'll help them stay connected, and I think the ease of use will be a benefit to our families. So we're looking forward to hearing some feedback. We know that whenever you launch something new, there will probably be a bug that we have to work through, but at this point, we're going to build a list, and Linda will stay close to this and continue to revise it as necessary. But pretty excited about rolling this out now, so the first day of school, parents can access whatever information that they need to support their child here at school. And that concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Powers. Next, we'll move on to committee reports. Are there any committee reports? I do have a committee report for finance. The finance committee met on June the 28th, and it was for purposes of getting a report from another consultant that we hired for purposes of looking over our 5-year forecast. Remember that in my president's report earlier, I talked about K-12 consultants, and they did the presentation and kind of went the deep dive and analysis that he walked through. Finding Leaders was the other company that we also used to review our 5-year forecast. And so the process that they went by and the scope was a little different. What the purpose of them coming in was really to audit the audit, if you will. So K-12 went and did the deep dive, and Finding Leaders looked at that report to see whether or not the assumptions were reasonable. And so he went over our usage of federal ESSER funds, capital planning, and looked at, just, some things in terms of what we might be looking to do in the future, which one of the things that we are going to be looking at this evening is the renewal levy. We did talk a little bit about, the legacy project and the prospect of possibly, looking at other ways to generate revenue. At the end of the day, the conclusion was pretty much the same that we got from K-12. But in addition to that, he made mention of the fact that, over the last 20 years, and this is credit to Marty, that we've had clean audits. We've received numerous awards for the way we keep our books and how we, basically the oversight of our finances. So, very good report. They were very impressed with a lot of the things that we've been able to do, especially over the last couple of years with dealing with COVID, and the overall outlook. Based on what we know and where we are today, they felt that we were pretty much on track with what we need to be doing in our decision making. So I don't know, Mrs. Powers, if there's any other takeaways that you had with Ryan's presentation.
I think the overall summary is the fact that there needs to be the renewal passed so that we can continue to provide our students with the very best opportunities that we can. The first time this actual 6.9 mil levy was authorized, Marty, correct me if I'm wrong, was 1993. And so over the course of many years, the community has been very supportive of our school district. They understand that it takes funds to support and to operate schools and to ensure that the students have all that they need to be successful wherever they are and whatever success looks like for them. And so we appreciate that support for many, many years, and we will be asking the residents once again to provide support for the renewal levy in November. The last time it was renewed was in 2018. And so it is time, as all things in school districts have a cycle, it is now the time for this cycle to be renewed. And we appreciate Marty's hard work, always making sure that the books are in well order. But it is expensive to operate a school district, and there are things that need to happen to support our students, and we just appreciate the past support, and we ask our residents for continued support as we move forward toward the ballot issue on November 8th.
Thank you for that. And just to reiterate, I know I spoke about this in the president's report, that the board was proactive in contracting to have third parties look at our 5-year forecast for purposes of not only just gathering data, but making sure that the incoming treasurer has some assurances, that everything is in order, and we're just taking extra steps, to make sure that there's transparency, that if there's any other information that's out there that we're not aware of, that it could be picked up. But we were assured by both organizations that what's been presented in our 5-year forecast has been accurate. The assumptions are reasonable, and moving forward, making the decisions that we need to make moving forward, the roadmap is pretty clear. So for our decision making. So that was it for the Finance Committee on that day. Are there any other reports for committee meetings? Okay, hearing none, then we move on to remonstrance. I don't think that we have any remonstrance this evening. So we're just going to jump into our business portion of our meeting. Go to item G, Treasurer's Report and Recommendations. Without objection from my colleagues, I will read G1 through 3 together. G1, resolved that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the following meeting minutes. Regular meetings of June 1st, 2022 and June 22nd, 2022, and special meetings of June 6th, 2022, June 23rd, 2022, and June 28th, 2022, as sent to the board under separate cover. 2, that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the following financial report for the month of May 2022. Bank reconciliation, general fund, financial summary report, and financial report by fund as sent to the board under separate cover. And 3, resolve that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the check register for the month of May 2021. The total, including payroll, is $5,426,849.46. Do I have a motion for G 1 through 3?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Davis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Travis. Any discussion?
Question, item 3 has May 2021.
I'm assuming that's an error.
Yes, they do.
So let the record speak that instead of May 2021, it should be May 2022. Good catch, Mrs. Crawford.
Yeah, our treasurer got it too. Our new treasurer caught it, our new treasurer caught it.
Okay, all right. We're in good shape. Any discussion? Any other questions, comments? We'll have hearing none. Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes, motion carries 4-0. Okay, G4. Yes, G4, I will read, which is a resolution declaring the necessity to renew an existing 6.9 mil tax levy for the purpose of the current expenses and requesting the Summit County Fiscal Officer to certify the total current tax valuation of the school district and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by that renewal levy pursuant to sections 5705.03 and 5705.21 of the revised code. Whereas at an election on May 8th, 2018, the school district's voters approved the renewal of an existing 6.9 mil ad valorem tax levy in excess of the 10 mil limitation for the purpose of current expenses for 5 years. And whereas the authority to levy the 6.9 mil tax expires with the levy on the 2022 tax list and duplicate for collection in calendar year 2023, and whereas this board finds that the amount of taxes which may be raised within the 10 mil limitation by levies on the tax duplicate will be insufficient to provide an adequate amount for the necessary requirements of the school district, and that in accordance with section 5705.21 of the revised code, it is necessary to renew the existing 6.9 mil tax in excess of that limitation for the purpose of current expenses for 5 years. And whereas in accordance with section 5705.03B of the revised code, in order to submit the question of a tax levy pursuant to section 5705.21, this board must request that the Summit County Fiscal Officer certify the total current tax valuation of the school district and dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by the levy. And whereas in accordance with section 5705.03B, upon receipt of a certified copy of a resolution of this board declaring the necessity of a tax, stating its purpose, whether it is an additional levy, a renewal, or a replacement of an existing tax, or excuse me, or the renewal or a replacement of existing, or a decrease, the section of the revised code authorizing the submission of the question of the tax, the terms of years of the tax, or that it is for a continuing period of time that the tax is to be levied upon the entire territory of the school district, the date of the election at which the question of the tax shall appear on the ballot, that the ballot matter shall be submitted to the entire territory of the school district, the tax year in which the tax will first be levied, and the calendar year in which it will be first collected, and each county in which the school district has territory in requesting such certification. The Summit County Fiscal Officer is to certify the total current tax valuation of the school district and dollar amount of of revenue that will be generated by the specified number of mills. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of Twinsburg City School District, County of Summit, Ohio, that Section 1, Declaration of Necessity of Tax Levy, this board finds, determines, and declares that it is necessary to renew the school district's existing 6.9 mil ad valorem property tax outside the 10 mil limitation for the purpose of current expenses as authorized by Section 5705.21 of the revised code. It intends to submit the question of that renewal levy to the electors of the entire territory of the school district at an election to be held on November 8th, 2022. And the school district has territory only in the county of Summit. If approved, that tax will be levied upon the entire territory of the school district for 5 years, commencing in tax years 2023 for first collection in calendar year 2024. Section 2, request for certification. This board requests Summit County Fiscal Officer to certify to it both the total current tax valuation of the school district and the dollar amount of revenue that will be generated by the 6.9 mil renewal levy specified in Section 1. Section 3, certification and delivery of resolution to the county fiscal officer. The treasurer is authorized and directed to deliver or cause to be delivered promptly to the Summit County fiscal officer a certified copy of this resolution. Section 4, compliance with open meeting. Any of its committees concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were taken, and that all deliberations of this board and any of its committees that resulted in those formal actions were held in meetings open to the public in compliance with the law. Section 5, captions and headings. Captions and headings in this resolution are solely for convenience of reference and in no way define, limit, or describe the scope or intent of any section, subsections, paragraphs, subparagraphs, or clauses hereof. Section 6, effective date. This resolution shall be in full force and effect from and immediately upon its adoption. Do I have a motion for items G4? So moved by Mrs. Davis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Travis. Discussion. Mr. Aho, would you care to just provide a brief explanation in terms of the steps in this process, just so that people have clarification on it and understand what we're doing?
Sure. After this motion here is approved, I'll take it down to Summit County's fiscal officer. They'll look at it. They look at what the real estate valuations are, and then they certify the amount that the levy will collect. That comes back to me. They do have to do that in 5 days. It comes back to me. Then we send that off to the attorney, and he'll draft the language for the second resolution. Second resolution needs to be passed by 4 board members. And then after that one's passed, we take it down to the Board of Elections with the levy language. And then the Board of Elections does what they need to do to put on the ballot.
Okay, I appreciate that explanation. So, just one other comment. I know we've kind of talked about the renewal levy, but it represents, this is our operating money. So it's not anything over and above what we're currently doing, but the extent to which we don't renew this levy, it would really hamper our ability to provide the level of service that we're currently providing our residents. It's not an additional tax. It's what we're currently already doing. So I just want to make that very clear. This board has deliberated over a number of meetings, had presentations. Like as I alluded to in my president's report, the Finance Committee has met a number of times, just to assess and look at our financial outlook. And so the extent to which we don't renew this levy, could put us in some dire straits. So I just want to make sure everyone's clear in terms of why we're doing what we're doing. We need the money. We'll continue to be wise in how we spend the money, but it's critical for our operating. I don't know if there's anyone else that would like to add to that. I'll open the floor up.
We've been through this before, and we've always had, we have a great committee that works very hard on this with our Blue Ribbon Committee, consisting of parents, teachers, administrators, community members, and they've worked hard on this committee over the years because they know, they value our school district. They value what we are able to do with our, for our students and our staff and our schools. And, we wish we didn't have to do this, but this is kind of a necessary step in just continuing to provide just quality education and quality programs for our students, and we want to keep being able to offer them some of the things we do, and just keep the great programs that we have for our students, and just make our schools just a great place to be.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. And that motion carries 4-0. Okay, next is action items. Personnel, without objection from my colleagues, I will read H1 through 3 together. H1, resolved that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the certificated licensed personnel and/or contract recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background check. 2, that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the classified personnel and/or contract recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks. And 3, that the Twinsburg Board of Education accepts the supplemental contract recommendations detailed in the attached exhibit as per the dates, terms, and other applicable conditions specified pending satisfactory ORC background checks. Do I have a motion for items H1 through 3? So moved by Mrs. Crawford. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Travis. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. That motion passes 4-0. Next is I, 1 through 14. Without objection from my colleagues, I will read I 1 through 14 together. Action item, new business. I-1, resolved that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the listing of dated and obsolete music materials to be deleted from inventory. 2, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the service incentive for certified teacher substitutes for the 21-22 school year. Certified substitute teachers who work 100 days during the 21-22 school year will receive a service incentive of $1,000. 3, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the contract for the 2022-23 school year for AL Safe Transportation, 9733 Ravenna Road, Unit F, Twinsburg, Ohio 44087, for select education homeless routes pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the contract as sent to the board under separate cover. 4, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the contract for the 2022-23 school year for LT Transport, 623 South Green Road, number 3, South Euclid, Ohio 44121, for as-needed transportation services for extracurricular events and select special education homeless routes pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the contract as sent to the board under separate cover. 5, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the contract for the 22-23 school year with Willow Transportation, 34799 Curtis Boulevard, Unit A, East Lake, Ohio 44095, for as-needed transportation services for extracurricular events and select special education homeless routes pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the contract as sent to the board under separate cover. 6, that the Twinsburg Board of Education determines the impracticality of transportation for the schools and students listed below in the 22-23 school year per the Ohio Department of Education in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Section 3327.01. The list of students is kept on file in the Transportation Office. The board will determine the amount of payment in lieu of transportation once the State Board of Education approves the information necessary to make the determination. 7, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the contract for professional services with Steps Educational Group, 4040 Tamarack Drive, Parma, Ohio, 44134, to provide the educational intervention, OT, SLP services, and behavioral support to one student for the 22-23 school year in accordance with the student's individual education plan. Total cost of the contract is not to exceed $79,000 as sent to the board under separate cover. This is a general fund expense. 8, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the service agreement with the Educational Service Center of Medina County for nursing services for one student for the 22-23 school year per the contract as sent to the board under separate cover. Service costs not to exceed $49,201.04. Fiscal facility fee is 3% of the total contract. Excess costs will be charged back to the Chagrin Falls Exempted Village School District. 9, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the agreement with Solutions Behavioral Consulting, LLC, to provide behavioral intervention services for our ESY program, June 19th, 22 through August 4th of 22 for 2 students at $155 per hour for consultation services and $55 per hour for behavior technician services, not to exceed $2,725 as sent to the board under separate cover. This is a general fund expense. 10, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the amendment to the 21-22 school year contract with Solutions Behavioral Consulting, LLC, for costs related to the intensive needs of 2 students requiring support with BCBA. Amendment amount is $8,910.25. This is a general fund expense as sent to the board under separate cover. 11, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the agreement with Solutions Behavioral Consulting, LLC, to provide behavioral intervention services for the 22-23 school year. Consultation services will be billed at $155 per hour, and services provided by behavior technicians will be billed at $55 an hour, not to exceed $265,000 for the school year, as sent to the board under separate cover. This is a Title 6B general fund expense. 12, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the adoption of social emotional curriculum as sent to the board under separate cover. 13, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the adoption of the Y-Try Toolkit and Curriculum. 5455 North River Run Drive, Provo, Utah, 84604, at a cost of $16,000. This resource will support the social emotional learning curriculum. ADM grant expenditure as sent to the board under separate cover. 14, that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the adoption of Scholastic Teachables, 2315 Dean Street, Suite 600, St. Charles, Illinois, 60175, at a cost of $1,479. This resource will support the social emotional learning curriculum. Title IV expenditure as sent to the board under separate cover. Do I have a motion for items I-7 through 14?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Davis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Travis. Any discussion?
Isn't it items 1 through 14?
I'm sorry. My mistake. Action items I-1 through 14. Save that for the record.
And I would just like to say again that I'm excited about the social emotional learning curriculum. I think it'll be great for our district and for our teachers and our students to move forward with this. So I'm just excited to see this approved tonight.
Oh, I have to piggyback that, and I know I made my comments during the last board meeting, I think it was the last regular meeting, that their presentation was made on the social emotional curriculum. And again, I have to just reiterate how impressed I was. It's one of the most comprehensive curriculums I've seen in this space. I know a lot of work has gone into it. and a lot of people that contributed to bringing it to where it is today. Special thanks to Dr. Walker. And again, it's awesome. So I'm excited that we're moving it forward. I just wanted to make sure that I acknowledge publicly again how impressive the work behind this has been. Any other comments? Okay, Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next is I-15. Resolved that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the master service agreement with Armada 23 Claredane Drive, Powell, Ohio 43065 at a cost of $6,245.50 for the purpose of facilitating a full-scale crisis drill on October 5th, 2022. This is a city-county fund expenditure as sent to the board under separate cover. Do I have a motion for I-15? So moved by Mrs. Crawford. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Davis. Any discussion?
Mr. Curtis, just so I can explain this rather unusual resolution. As you know, school safety is everyone's front and center, especially in light of what happened in Uvalde and then the gun legislation that happened here in Ohio. And so thanks to the partnership that we have with the city of Twinsburg, we will be having a full-scale crisis drill on October 5th. It's a Wednesday. It happens to be a data day, so our students will not be reporting that day, but the staff will be here. And we are going to be using Twinsburg High School to facilitate that drill. The drill will include not only the city of Twinsburg Fire and Police, but the police and fire from surrounding surrounding communities, I should say, potentially the hospitals in town, and of course our friends at Summit County. And we really think that this is an important thing to do, and we need to get it right. It needs to be evaluated, and there needs to be a debrief after the drill occurs, and then work thereafter. So if we are misstepping, if we don't do something correctly and such, Armada is the organization that will be auditing the drill, that will be helping to plan the drill, and then provide the debrief and the evaluation thereafter. The other partner I forgot to mention is Mayor Alonso and the city of Reminderville. If we ever have a bad day, a crisis happen, and we need to move children and staff off of our campuses, one of the things that we are very aware of is that Ravenna Road is a 2-lane street. And if some crisis occurs, it's going to be clogged. And so we would want to get our kids off campus, our staff off campus, so that families can be reunited someplace else. The location for reunification is going to be at the Reminderville Athletic Club. And so Mayor Alonso has already provided permission for us to use the rack on October 5th, so that we will be also practicing the reunification part of a crisis. And so this will be a very intensive but very important day for the school district and for local law and the fire services, so that we can practice what we would be doing if we had a crisis, how we would respond to the crisis, and then how we would ask our parents to meet up and reunify with their children so that they can get safely home. We will be asking for student volunteers to participate here at the high school. We will be using the entire facility of the high school. In the past, we had the drill twice already in the A-pod. We've been asked to use the entire building. And so this will be a very intensive exercise, one that I think is important, so that if we have a bad situation kick off in any of our schools, that we will have had to practice and know how to respond in partnership with those that we mentioned. So I thank you for your consideration of this contract. I think it is a good thing to have an expert organization come in and watch what we do, help audit what we do, and provide feedback so that we're better moving forward.
Thank you for that. Any other comments? Hearing none, Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. The motion carries 4-0. Next is I-16. Resolved that the Twinsburg Board of Education approves the 2022 district signage project at a total cost not to exceed $49,167.32 pursuant to the terms and conditions set forth in the proposal sent to the board under separate cover. The district signage project will be completed by Rough Neon Signs and Lighting Maintenance Incorporated, 295 West Prospect Street, Painesville, Ohio, 44077. This is a permanent improvement expenditure. Do I have a motion for I-16?
So moved.
So moved by Mrs. Travis. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Crawford. Discussion.
Mr. Walker, as one of your last duties at the last meeting, for some people who might not know what this is, do you want just very brief explanation?
Sure.
Thanks.
So we're excited about this project. It was identified as part of our communications strategic plan. Over the past couple of years, we've been working on, we had a wayfinding study completed by Guide Studio, and they took a look at all of our facilities and where people might get confused if they were trying to get directed to, for instance, this room or the Dodge varsity baseball field, just various places. And so we've worked over the past year here to finalize those drawings, and we had a great proposal from Rough Neon Signs, and looking forward to having that installed here in the next few months, and by the end of 2022.
So when you come back visit, you know where to go.
That's right, I will.
All right.
I won't get lost.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Curtis?
Yes. Motion carries 4-0. Next is miscellaneous. Have anything for miscellaneous?
Mr. Curtis, just two things. You heard mentioned twice tonight the communications action team. One was the mobile app, and then now we're talking about the wayfinding signage. I just want to thank Mrs. McKinney and Mrs. Honeycutt's leadership on the committee, the communications committee. And then before them, it was Mr. Sullivan who actually kicked off the work of the communications committee. It's exciting to see things come to fruition now through the communication that we've had with our residents, parents, and staff members. So thanks to Ms. McKinney, who's here, Mrs. Honeycutt, who's away, and of course Mr. Sullivan, who's no longer with us. But we appreciate their leadership, and it's just fun now to finally see things happening. And that's thanks to their leadership and the participation of all those folks on the committee. And then secondly, and more important than that, tonight is the last board meeting for my friend and colleague, Mr. Aho, and for my friend, I'm not going to talk friend and colleague, Chad. And we do wish both of you lots of success. And it's been a pleasure to honor to serve alongside both of you. Marty, I hope your retirement is just filled with great adventures and lots of happiness. Lots of baseball games, perhaps.
Yeah.
Catch you on the TV. And my friend here, Chad, heads to the Ohio Schools Council for a new director's position. And just thank you. And that's all I'm going to say before I start to cry.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, wow, this is going to be the last meeting for two folks currently sitting here, and huge contributions from both. A lot of things wouldn't be possible without these two gentlemen and all the work that they've done to bring us where we are today. And I think we're very fortunate to have found two folks that can step in and pick up where they left off. I'm happy and proud to say that the folks that are stepping into both houses that are well kept in order, very organized, well run. It's just a matter of taking the reins and keeping it moving forward. So without these two kind of making the offices what they are, it would be a very much more difficult position, and for someone else to step into and take the reins. So it's been an honor to work with both Marty and Chad. I've had the fortune of having to work with them intimately on a couple of projects, and nothing but first class from both of these guys, and total commitment 110% every day for as long as they've been with us. So I appreciate everything that you guys have done for us, and good luck to you in the future. Marty, I'm jealous. I got way for retirement, so.
Yeah.
But I wish both of you the best of the best.
And we've been talking about this for the past several months here and there, how it's coming, and now it's here. But I just want to, I'll keep it very brief because so much has been said, but I just appreciate all your hard work, your leadership, and your trust to keep us in line, keep things moving forward, and to just be, to make our district what it is. You too played a huge role in that, and really appreciate that. And I do look forward to working with the 2 new people who will be replacing you. But I just, there's, I don't know what to say. It's just been really good working with the 2 of you, and just it keeps a sense of calm with us. And I'm sure you 2 will continue that. So just, gosh, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work. And same thing, jealous. And then, Chad, I expected maybe hear about you going to your hockey games and trips and everything else. So I'm sure you'll keep in touch a little bit here and there, but
Absolutely.
Congratulations and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I also want to wish you well in your retirement.
Thank you.
Enjoy every minute. And up and moving. I mean, you're going to be, maybe be in Columbus at some point in time, running the State Department or something here. So just keep it going and keep working hard. But I also want to add, in the sadness of saying goodbye and welcoming, within the next 2 weeks before our next board meeting, we're going to have kids back. Our students are going to be back, the football team's going to be back, the cross-country team's going to be back, the band is starting up next week. I have to mention the band. The band is coming back next week. So we will have students on campus, staff on campus, beyond those that have already been working all summer. Thank you all. So it's going to be exciting times here at Twinsburg land. So we'll welcome everyone back and with open arms, and hope for everything to have everyone to have a great and successful fall season.
And everyone's kind of commented already, but I'll just kind of echo what everyone said. Thank you, Marty, for everything you've done, from us getting me and Leah coming onto the board. It's been great working with you, and it's been fun working with you as well, Chad, and we had good times at the conference, and we wish you the best of luck and success in your future. And then, even though Leah said welcome everybody back, and people enjoy your vacation. Enjoy your summer while you still have it, and then we'll be happy to welcome you back.
You're not in a hurry. Okay, well, we do have,
I just
okay,
I just
sorry, go
wanted
ahead,
to,
Chad.
no, so thank you very much for all of your support. This is a tremendous community, and it's been an absolute honor to be here for 8 years and see all the support. It feels like just everybody takes care of one another here, and and I've had a tremendous time here in the last few days working with Matt and making sure that I try to remember everything to tell him. I think he's going to do a great job, and just know once a tiger, always a tiger. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the great things that you're going to accomplish, and anything I can do to help, just let me know.
I might as well throw something in too, so.
Definitely.
This has been a great district. In my 20 years here, It's just been wonderful. You know, it's time for me to go, and I know that, but it's kind of with a heavy heart that I'm leaving. I'd love to stay and keep going, but it's just, you know, Father Time catches up with you. So I appreciate all your support and everything, and it really is a great district.
Thank you both. So, we do have need to go into executive session. So the board will enter into executive session at 7:56 p.m. to discuss employment and compensation of public employees as per Board of Education Policy 0166A. I will make the motion to go into executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Crawford. Mr. Aho, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Curtis?
Yes.
Mrs. Crawford?
Yes.
Mrs. Travis?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, we're now in executive session. I do not anticipate that we will conduct further business once we reconvene. We are adjourned. Thank you.